What else you talking
Sometimes I do. I use I hit the green button.
Hit the shiny green button.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it. No, I'm good. I can't say. So let's see. You've done it. Jan, you do the intro. Because you're always so talkative.
What am I supposed to
You
say?
got that
Just
radio
introduce
voice, bro.
us.
Yeah, just introduce the group. Talk about what we're doing. What we're going to be talking about. Matter of fact, I want you to take a lead role today. Cool.
No, I don't want to.
That's what I'm asking you. Because you always in the cut, man.
You got it.
What am I supposed to say though?
Just do the
Like,
intro.
I'm lost.
Just like
Say your name.
Just be like,
Say, hi, my
welcome
name
to the
is. All right,
podcast.
tell you what. Show 'em you do it today. Show
I gotta do it today.
Next time,
God.
yeah.
All right. Welcome back to another podcast. Here with me today is Tyler, Brianna, and Jan. You guys want to give a little shout out to yourselves?
yeah, I'm Tyler. I'm a junior here at Paulo. Social justice panel president.
That's
How are
what's
you? I'm Brianna, sophomore here at Paulo. I'm vice president, social justice student panel.
My name is Jan. I'm a freshman here at Apollo. That's it.
Oh, where you're a man? We got all grades here today.
Oh, for real.
We got freshman through senior. My name is Anthony. I'm not part of any boards. I just happen to be a senior who signed up for this.
He's that guy. He's just that guy.
So real quick, I'm a little confused. What are we talking about today?
Today the topic is cell phone use in the classrooms.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start off about whether we're for or against it, like where exactly we fall on that line.
I want you guys to talk about why is this even a conversation? Talk about why you feel the need to have this conversation.
So
Give us
in
some background.
a lot of schools, cell phones are started to get locked up. They're putting them in like magnetic bags.
Yeah.
And even in this school, they're looking at cell phone policies to kind of wean down the use of cell phones in the classroom. But, how do we look at that and make sure that it's fair for students, but also students are getting benefited from the cell phone policy?
Okay. So real quick, how do you guys feel about it? Like, how do you feel about them trying to look for a solution to get you guys off of your phones?
I think there definitely should be some sort of solution, but I'm not completely for completely taking them away. But there definitely should be some sort of restrictions put in place because it's definitely very distracting for other students to have one student constantly being yelled at to put their phone away, being told, and they're just not listening.
Yeah, that and I know that it stops all the teachers from doing the actual lesson plan whenever they got to stop like every 5 minutes. Like, hey, put your phone away. Out of that, give me your phone. I've had teachers in my classes like, give me your phone, and they threw it in their desk.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, no.
I second what Bree said. We definitely should be looking for ways to cut down the cell phone use in classrooms, but I don't think the answer is to just take the cell phone away.
I agree with that as well. How about you, Jay?
I agree with everyone. I feel like cell phones shouldn't be really used as much as it's used right now. But it's kind of silly to just take it away from you just for
Yeah.
just to take away the attention from the phone and onto yourself as a teacher.
So real quick, do you guys use your phones in class? Like, is it a frequent thing whenever you pull your phone out?
I'm on my phone all the time. I'm not even gonna lie, but I have a lot of downtime. It's like I have all my work done. I have nothing to do. It's either be on my phone or talk to someone. So I sit on my phone most of the time.
I know that feeling. How about you, Brie?
Me personally, usually if I'm on my phone, it'd be at the beginning of the classroom because I think I was explaining it to you too before. I'll put one AirPod in and I'll have music playing low enough for just me to hear it, no one else. And because it helps me concentrate. And only other time I'll be checking my phone is because I'm involved in a lot in school. So I got to be checking my email and text messages, see if I have to get back in contact with someone. But other than that, I just have it away.
How about you, Jay?
I use it a lot as well. I'm on it all the time. But it like what Tyler said, I always have a lot of time to myself, and I'm actually encouraged to use my phone sometimes. I'm like, yo, you can use your phone, as it did by the teachers.
So y'all some scholars, huh? A lot of free time, right? Nah, but I know what you guys mean. I also have a lot of free time because they'll give me my paper and I just do it quick, and then I pull my phone out.
Yeah,
And honestly, I'm just texting my mom back or something.
playing bloody bastards with each other. That's our
I know
game.
I'm jumping in this, right?
Uh-huh.
What's up?
Because y'all all one-sided. So you guys are adamantly opposed to having your cell phones taken away.
Yeah.
But we have 4 people in the room who admitted that they use their cell phones throughout the course of class, whether it's beginning of the class, during class, or at the end of class, right?
Right.
But you don't want your cell phones taken away. It's like I'm dealing with my 5-year-old.
No, yeah.
No.
He's
And
got
she
a
goes,
point. He's
she
got
Yeah.
a
goes,
point.
Yeah.
well, why am I being punished? I told you not to jump on the couch. So why am I sitting in the corner on a hard chair? Because I told you not to jump on the couch. So at some point, a teacher has to be, I guess, the adult. If you guys are using your phone for games, all right, emails and texts, I understand. But don't you think it would make more sense if you said, hey, Mr. Dumpson, I have to check my email because I'm expecting emails from some of the teachers because of a program that I'm in, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't do that, if you're listening to music, he's texting whoever, what is the teacher supposed to do? Sit there and wait for you guys to finish? So
No.
you don't want to take it away, but at the same time, you insist on using them anyways. How do we balance that? That's what I want to hear you guys talking about, because you obviously know that students, you guys know that your peers are using your phones. So you guys are being really careful with this conversation and you're treading lightly, but you're only talking about one side. So if you know that you're obviously using them, talk about some probable solutions.
You know, he does bring a good point to the table. He does. He got a point there. He's got us beat there. No, but yeah, whenever I'm just sitting on my phone, I'll start thinking to myself, I'll be like, all right, I gotta focus on the class. Because honestly, there's some classes where I'll be sitting there texting, but then I realize like I'm struggling understanding what they're doing. And so I just put my phone back, pay attention.
Now remember, this is prep. This isn't the actual podcast.
This ain't the actual
So,
podcast.
Yo,
We were going over
it's
that
not like he just
before.
gave like a whole conversation about this. You could have just listened.
I was
But
explaining to
you
him what the
not
podcast
only-
is.
You're sitting there looking at them like this. I've been in meetings. Let me tell you something. All right, this is prep, so I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to do. I think this is what I probably during my adult life. I think I've been sitting on board on boards for different organizations probably the last 25 years of my life. You know what I hate about being on boards? Everybody looks at one person for leadership, and the rest of the people in the room are like bobbleheads. They just do this. It's either yeah, I agree, or they look straight ahead, and it's kind of like no. This is a collective. So you're talking about social justice, you're talking about empowerment, you're talking about how to be a part of the process. Just because he took the lead doesn't mean that you depend completely on him to direct the conversation. So after I spoke, he stared at him, you stared at him, and was just chilling. You know, I'm sorry, Jed, I gotta pick on you. But it's kind of like jump in and explore from every option. Here's the deal. When you go up against the teachers, they're gonna come armed, right?
Yeah.
They're coming ready for a battle. Okay, students want to talk with us about, we got to run classrooms and they want cell phones. So they're going to come prepared. Who are you going to look at then?
I'll be right back. I really gotta blow my nose.
Oh, who are you going to look at then? I'm going to take her seat.
Me. No, man. Listen,
How are we going to do this? So I'm going to act like a student. All right, go ahead.
guys, feel free to jump in. State your opinion.
So I think it's important to remember like our phone's a tool, and like every tool can be used in a right way and a wrong way. And I think there should just be a system so teachers can like at least do something when the phone is being used in the wrong way. Because like when I brought up how I use my phone in the classroom, it's never like when the teacher's instructing. It's only when like I have downtime. Like it's never like
Yeah, but you're not the average student. So you're one of those you're like one of those scholarly kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
So you might knock your work out in the first 10 minutes. So for you, downtime could be the remaining, 45 minutes per class? The remaining 35 minutes for you may be downtime. So you're on your phone and the teacher's still trying to teach these two. So when is it appropriate to use a cell phone in a classroom? You say it's a tool, but it's a tool you have no problems using. It becomes a toy, right? So if I have a hammer in my hand, it's a tool, but if I'm banging on a desk, what is it?
Toy.
it's a
It's a toy.
obstruction.
It's a toy. Let's simplify it. So we're being real political with our responses. How do you really feel? You said you didn't want your cell phone being taken away, correct? So what do you feel you should do the minute you walk in that classroom? What should happen?
I feel like first thing that you should first off focus on is doing your work. Like literally, that's the only thing you should focus on as soon as you get into your classroom. Don't do anything on your phone unless you absolutely need to. But after you do your work, I don't have anything to do after that. Like I literally don't have anything to do. I'm like sitting there bored and I don't like talking to people. I'm to myself all the time.
Right.
And so like the only source of entertainment that I have is my phone. Like music, anything is a source of entertainment. And I feel like if I had more sources of entertainment in a classroom, it'd be easier to not use my phone, but there are none.
Okay, let's explore that. What other sources of entertainment would you like to have in the classroom?
Can you guys read?
Oh, Miss Melina. Oh, I hate reading. Miss Melina.
Yo, I love your honesty. Go ahead.
Miss Melina has like these fidget toys in her
What kind of
drawer.
toys?
Fidget toys.
Fidget?
Toys.
You know, fidget,
Like a
fidget,
fidget
fidget,
spinner.
fidget
Yeah.
cubes.
Okay.
It's like
okay.
she has all type of them, and then boom, like 2 weeks in, they were all broken. Like people took them and just started breaking them. It's ridiculous. Like, and no one. And then after they broke, like they were on the fidget toys, and then they were on the phone as well, which is like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you do one of those. Like, those are both sources of
Pick one.
entertainment, and you're just using both of them. That's ridiculous. That's silly.
So when you talk about entertainment, what do you actually come to school for?
Education. Yeah.
It's-
What does that mean, though?
Like I came for instructed learning. Like I came for somebody to like go through the steps of my day with like learning and like structure.
So you came here to be a student. You want someone to teach you something, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you guys are all scholars. So if I don't tell you what to learn, you don't take the initiative to entertain yourself by learning something on your own.
Man, I'm learning something new every day.
Like what?
So yesterday, I learned about stretches. I found out what a like a shoulder press is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do that in classroom. If you're in English class, are you gonna do stretches?
Yeah, sometimes I sit in class. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, stretch this. Up.
Okay. All right. And same thing if you're at your desk, if you work in the corporate environment, you can do the same thing. There's things you can do. But when you get bored, how do you control that? If
So-
it's going to be cell phones, then I'm going to be a strong proponent of saying, listen, when the board discusses it, take the cell phones.
Yeah.
Because if I got the brightest of the brightest saying, yeah, I play with my cell phone because I finished all my work, well, it takes him 10 minutes, but it takes this guy 45 minutes. So even if he's not on his cell phone and you're playing quietly, he's looking over like this. And the whole time you're like this. Every time he looks over, you're doing, well, damn, this is my credit card. So you're doing this, looking at your cell phone.
You got $1 on your lap.
Ah, man, I need that.
Hey.
So you're looking at your cell phone. So is it a distraction to him?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So when is cell phone use not a distraction? So
When you're by yourself in the corner.
But you shouldn't be in the
That's-
corner. You're part of the classroom environment. You guys are active parts of the environment. So I'm a strong proponent. I say take the cell phones away. If you don't know how to behave when you have the cell phone on your person, then as the teacher in the classroom, what are my options?
I feel like you should make it
That cell phone use?
Cell phone use.
Get off the
It's
phone.
literally an email to my teacher.
I could hear her nails. through the microphones. I can hear them.
So,
I can hear them through the microphone, and they're coming through.
That's all we heard is just.
so if you're in the classroom and she's sending an email, how distracting is that?
I don't know. It's not. So sending
How
an email.
distracting is that?
That was.
I heard her
Well,
clicking.
you don't
which is
know
why I
it.
turned around. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
what,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I said you don't know what they're
Nails.
doing, so
Right.
Yeah.
And if I'm a teacher, I'm standing up, I'm giving instruction, and in the back I see her
All you hear is.
doing that. How do I know it's to a teacher?
That's
If
true.
I ask to look at your cell phone, it's your personal property, which means it could be a tad bit invasive, right?
yes.
You may have very, very, very personal information.
Mhm.
But how do students expect a teacher to respond? It's not always just about the students. As I tell my 5-year-old, life doesn't revolve around you. Daddy has a life. So for teachers, I'm coming in. My job is to teach you as much as I can with very little resources. And oh my God,
In
a little small framework of time. So how do I do this? Give me some advice. How do I do this?
How do you stop people from like using their
No,
phone?
how do I manage my classroom environment? If I have 20 kids in my class, they all have cell phones and using them at different times.
Strictness.
Strictness.
I mean, I feel like it comes down to like being more strict about it, or like making it like something that like you wouldn't want to do. Like by making it like you lose something from using your phone. I don't know how that would work, but like
So you're saying to punish kids for using their phone?
in a way, but like I feel like punish is a big word and a strong word as well.
but it's an
Punish.
honest word.
Yeah,
It's honest.
yeah, honest.
And it's a simple way to say it.
Yeah,
I don't know,
So
I feel like instead
ahead.
of being more strict towards like kids using their phone, like granted, I know they're not supposed to use it, but try to be like a little bit more understanding. Like maybe they're texting their mom, maybe they got a family emergency going on. But then again, you can't really just ask them something like that because it is invasive.
Oh, if it's an emergency, it's like I wasn't looking at my phone, but I can see that my mom has texted me 12 times. Could I see what's happening at home?
Yeah,
Teacher said, step out in the hallway, check. No phone calls. If you have to make a phone call, you go to the office and you make your phone call. So that would make sense.
yeah,
But I don't think that's what we're talking.
no.
You guys are just saying, yo, don't take my phone. I know students shouldn't be on the phone,
So
but don't take my phone.
the way that I see it, I feel like it's a communication issue between both the students and the teacher.
No.
No?
A teacher knows what a teacher understands the expectations. They understand the assignment. Students want to have the cake and eat it too. You guys don't understand the assignment. So your job is to come in and learn. It's not to be on cell phones. It's not to have your MP3 player. I don't know what an MP3 player is, huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
you load music into it, and then you.
I love my old school heads. Okay. So it's not your job. It's not a teacher's job or your classmate's job to entertain you. Why do you feel the need to be entertained during class when you're bored?
Because I feel like boredom is more of a negative emotion.
Okay, so
I want
not
to
great
make it a
boredom.
positive emotion. I want to
So-
feel good.
So how do you feel your space was something productive and engaging?
I sit there with a fidget ring.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Like,
that's
how-
not
how
productivity
how
though. That's
productive-
still we still run into the issue of like we're just sitting
Are you a
there
teacher?
not making any advancements towards our
That's my-
education, you
that's the
know?
impersonation of
And,
Reese.
like, Yeah, he was real feisty. He threatened to fight us all 3 times.
Yeah. He said he was gonna shoot Tyler again.
Only the white half though. so. Get him gone, get him gone.
Gonna shoot the left hand.
But yeah, so we still run into that issue of like if you're sitting there with a fidget ring, you're not doing anything for your education. Which like if I had something to do instead of being on my phone, then I would obviously pick that choice because like I am here to like do something. Like I left Chicopee Comp because of how much time I spent on my phone. Like I was on my phone so much that I was like I can't do this anymore. Like I'm wasting so much of my life just sitting here, bro.
And the money's coming back in, I think.
Nah, lock him out, lock him out, lock him
Lock him out, lock him
Lock him
out.
out, lock him out. Shut it, Bree.
Do it, Bree.
It was all Bree.
Yeah.
It was all Bree. It was all Bree. This is called equity, guys. He said have a voice at the table. We are the table.
Equity, not equality.
We are the team.
Okay, you got one now.
You're not even there.
You mean it's right there? Look, I can see his head.
That was all Bree.
That was there.
That was
They
all
said
Bree.
shut the door on him.
That was 100% Bree.
They were the influence of it. Don't. Is it because I'm a woman?
So if we all
Is
jumped
it
off
because
of-
I'm a? Oh, it's because I'm the only woman.
Yo.
See, this. I need to be in more podcasts with women because I feel attacked right now.
If we jump
Every
off a
time
bridge,
I'm
you
in
jump
this room
into.
with y'all.
if we jumped off of a bridge, are you coming with us? You
No,
coming
I'm
for a
not that
swim?
stupid.
Damn. So why would you listen
So
to
this
us?
is our fault, huh? This is
It was
our
your fault.
You can't blame us for your
I
choice.
did not know how you guys would react if I didn't shut that door.
What?
I did it for my safety.
I feel attacked.
I can't believe you would do that to Daryl. Is it because he's
Honestly,
black?
no, because you know how many times I've tried to convince my mama to let me shave my head.
Wait,
Girl,
you trying to
what?
go bald now?
It's okay. No, the point of it is to let my hair regrow. The point of
You
it
guys
is
could
to
be
let my
twins.
hair
You guys could be
regrow
twins.
even and healthier. That's the point of me
You
shaving
could
my
be
head.
twins, bro.
I'm gonna be
But-
sad the day I gotta get rid of my hair color. So I'm just gonna have to go bald and then let it grow back.
Mm.
Anyway,
I can't relate. Can't really
That's
say
You
any
know
of that.
what is this?
I'd probably be less amused. That's mine. If
Doritos?
Reese came in with her hair off, if he came in, with hair, I'd probably just be like,
Huh.
Real quick, Jen, you
that
Puerto
would
Rican?
shock me.
Yeah, you got that Taino hair.
Yeah.
My
So what
uncle
did
used
she
to have
got?
hair like
So what
that.
did she got?
Huh?
I
So
got
what kind of hair
these
she
naps.
got?
Nappy.
Yes. What's a nap? That's
I
a
got
negative
naps.
derogatory term.
Oh, my hair's nappy
You
too.
try to converse with this shit.
Yeah,
It is.
see?
Excuse me. I
It
used
is.
to have
Naps.
hair, and it made yours look like his. My hair was thick.
My hair's thick. I have tight curls too, and I
You got that West Africa all up in there.
It ain't fun. I hated once I hit like 13, my mom was like, "You doing your hair by myself?" And I'm like, "You expect me to take this by myself?
You left me all alone.
It's like you let me do this by myself.
How dare you?
Huh?
You're a perm?
No, I had natural curly hair.
Hold on, wait a minute. If your mom's letting you do what you want with your hair, why not just shave it?
She won't.
Yeah.
If I walk back into my mama's room with my head shaved, you will not see the day of light of me again.
Wait, you won't see the day of light.
I'm
I
seeing
won't see the day of
all the
light.
time.
You won't see me again.
You have a head for bald. Like my head is made for being bald. I'm like, yeah. Everybody.
See, I got wigs.
Oh,
I could do
You know,
wigs.
I need hair. I need
can see
hair
him
bad.
bald.
Yeah,
I
my
need
dad's
hair
bald.
I can't see
It runs in the
you
family.
three.
I need hair bad. I used to.
I wouldn't
was
be
in a-
like bone bald like you. I'd
bone
still have-
bald. You're bone bald.
Bone bald.
Bone bald. That's crazy.
I,
Straight to the skin.
I honestly challenge that is not amusing, and I'm not here for your entertainment.
Word.
Bone
I was
bald.
in a military youth program and I had to get my hair shaved like every other week.
Me too.
It was not it, bro. It was not it. Let me tell you.
No.
I
You got a football head, bro.
go after him, Bree. He's all yours.
Go ahead.
Get him.
You got
Sick
this.
him. Sick him, Bree. Sick him.
Oh, so I'm a dog now. Okay.
So back to the topic. You guys gonna be taking on two teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanna
You know
see
Joe?
that happen,
Who two?
and
You
we'll
know Joe?
probably do that in the room over there. I have a feeling that quite a few people will participate in that conversation.
For word.
What two teachers do you know?
No. That's y'all conversation. That's a
both of us?
conversation you guys should
Word?
discuss in that
Okay.
way. So
Yo,
have a conversation
who in here-
about
who in
the
here has a
teachers you'd
new?
like to have participate.
I do not have a new.
Journalism teacher, third floor.
Don't have her.
How about you, Jen?
I'm a freshman. I don't have any of those teachers.
You don't have anybody on the third floor?
No,
How
I
about the
have
second floor?
dance. I just had that's the only
You
class.
got Ted?
Huh?
You got Ted?
I don't have,
I feel
no, I
like
don't
Tay
even know who
would
E
that
be a good
is.
one.
Ted's the dance.
She's the
Oh, Ted. I think you said Ted. I think you said Ted. My fault. I think you said Ted. I was like, who's Ted? Tay, I do have Ted. Yeah.
you got 10.
I never heard Ted. I was like, yeah.
So I feel like that's like one of the only classes that phone use isn't like really like the big issue in because we're always up and being physical. At least in my
Yes.
class, we're
Nah, it's
always
an issue
up
in
and
my
dancing
class.
and stuff. So like,
Yeah.
There are kids in our class. Me and Tyler got the same class for C block. There's kids in our class who are always just sitting there.
They don't even stand up to
Every
dance.
kid in this school has a cell phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody has a cell
I
phone.
hope.
So I guess the question is, when you guys have podcasts with the teachers, let's go into a backwards. Typically, you would have four. It's always like objective, strategies, benchmarks, expected outcome.
We're gonna have to write everything on the board.
What's the expected outcome? When you have this conversation, what's the expected outcome? What do you hope to accomplish by the end of the conversation with the teachers?
I hope that we both learn.
Don't talk to me, talk to each other.
I will. I mean,
So, talk to me. Go ahead.
I hope that we both sides leave the conversation learning something new. So
I also hope that like we could come to like an agreement of how cell phone use should be handled in classes.
yeah, that and if we do come to an agreement, we're also gonna have to tell the other students
Mhm.
because if we
Wasn't like an
if
agreement.
us-
I need somebody to write these points down.
I ain't got no pen.
Because at the beginning of that podcast, I want you to open with the expected outcomes.
This is what we want to, cover
This is what we're
today.
hoping to accomplish. Otherwise, the conversation becomes really circular, and you won't.
It just
accomplish
keeps
anything.
going
So,
on.
I'm gonna suggest that you guys use the same model, regardless of which group of kids are in here.
Yeah.
When they see your outcomes, I'm gonna talk
Mhm.
about objectives. I'm gonna talk about the strategies to accomplish that.
So
Word.
we're gonna have to get other kids in on this as well. All right, because if us four or whoever's in the podcast group come to an agreement with the teachers, that's only us coming to that agreement. We also got to get every kid in on this agreement.
Every kid.
So you want
If
every
we can.
student- you want every student in the building in that
No.
room
No.
there?
No, I'm saying us. We spread the word.
Well, that's the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah, see?
Because they're setting up,
Listen.
everything should be set up right now anyway.
I don't know if this is being spread. I still haven't seen the first one I did.
You don't
I-
need to.
I haven't seen any of these
I wanna
yet.
see
when it goes
it.
public.
When is that though?
When's it going public?
That sentence is
Stop
laugh-
doing that. Stop doing that mega mind.
I
laugh.
hate that laugh
Right?
so
It's
much,
like
bro.
Purge the Cowardly Dog.
Now that you guys hate it, I'm gonna do it all the time. So
That's
I
the
don't like it.
Daryl evil laugh. That's
everybody
the
look
evil
this way
Daryl laugh.
because they need a picture.
Yo, I can see what homie's doing.
Hey yo, we can see your phone. Who's all those ladies, huh?
I'm telling your wife.
Not this way. Come on, they need a picture for the.
Do we smile?
Yeah, right. Do we smile?
Do we- Studious.
I can't do
Look
anything.
studious, boys.
No gang signs.
Everybody's stone.
I can't.
I can't do pictures. I
Yeah,
can't.
what is wrong with you? Like,
you throw gang signs?
I didn't even do anything. I said
I threw gang signs. He said no gang signs.
Just a slight.
I can't
Smile,
do pictures. I
boys.
can't.
You're smiling, Bree, so it's not. Too, I was talking.
Don't worry, you gotta picture me.
Let's get back. Expected outcomes. What do we hope to accomplish?
So I hope that we can, like you said, Brie, I hope that we can come to an agreement. But I do hope that both sides come to this conversation respectfully.
Yeah, get a respectful solution because, like,
Like-
at the moment, we really don't have.
You just parroted exactly what he said.
'Cause
Just
what?
rephrased it. He just said that.
I said, yeah, like
But you're
He's
right.
adding
I'm
on. He's
agreeing
adding
with
on.
him. I'm agreeing.
But here's the thing: when you agree with somebody, when you take it, somebody says not everything is faced can be, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can change until it's faced. If you
What?
made that statement, and then I said, well, you know, you can't change anything until you deal with it head on. It's the
Word
exact
for
same
word.
thing. Just because you paraphrase it and you take it and make someone else's thought your own, doesn't mean that you're contributing to the conversation.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah.
Not me.
What do you mean?
And that's for everybody. So let's try and refrain from doing that. Original thoughts, folks. Original, you guys,
Especially you,
your
Anthony.
Comprendo.
abilities. Let's
Oh,
get it.
and real quick, let me elaborate on what I mean. I know that most adults, what I mean by saying like everybody come respectfully, I know that most adults think that like us kids, we don't know any. Not Daryl, you know, he's different.
He hates us. What are you talking
Not even
Uh-huh.
Daryl came into this podcast very respectfully. You know, he knows that we have our own voice and our own opinions. I'm glad that
Damn
he
right
came-
he does.
Yeah, I'm glad that he came in respectfully and respected our opinions. He didn't.
Right.
He didn't tell us like most adults, like, "Oh, you don't know anything. You're just a kid."
No, he should have, but he didn't.
So you want them to listen to what we're saying?
Yes, because I know that most adults, even in everybody's household, I don't know. Your mom ever tell you guys, "Listen to me. I'm the parent. You're the kid."
Mhm.
Yeah, my mom says that to me all the time. Irritates me.
Anybody have younger siblings?
Yeah.
I bet you guys do it too, huh?
No.
My younger sibling is my bully, bro. You don't even understand. She beats the crap out of me, and she's 6, bro.
Yo, I
She's
want
the boss.
My
I
little
don't.
cousins, I gotta watch my little cousins all the time. And the other day, this
I would be
weekend,
scared to be
sidebar.
watched by Brie. Oh my
I-
god.
no, okay. So listen to the story. Listen to the story. So we were. So I was just upstairs in my room. They were downstairs in my cousin's room playing on her PlayStation, and then I just hear them yelling back and forth. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing now? So I went downstairs and I'm like, yo, stop yelling. It's unnecessary. And then no, hold up. Because the 6-year-old is on the bed. The 8-year-old is standing up. The 8-year-old looks at the 6-year-old and goes, yeah, you dumbass. And I was like, we not gonna start that. And then this motherfucker starts screaming in my
Hey,
face.
hurry
I'm like,
up.
Hey,
Who do you think you are, huh? Little
30
lady?
minutes
Who do you
gone
think
to
you
waste.
are?
I'm
30 minutes gone. This Bree started swearing.
I
Yeah.
really apologize.
Yo,
But I'm like,
30 minutes.
You're feisty, bro.
Yo,
For real.
not even. I walk into my little sister's room. I walk into her room. And you know how like that usual big brother thing. You just walk in and start throwing stuff around.
I do that
So-
all the time.
I walk
What?
into her room.
that's why I start throwing
Yeah,
things.
you never walk into your
No.
sibling's room and just
You gotta be the
No,
older sibling, bro.
what?
Just older
not even.
sibling it up.
I walk into my sister's room. She's got mad stuff on her bed. I just walk up. I'm like, and then I grab her blanket, flip it over.
So cell phone use in the classroom.
Back to the
Yeah,
topic.
back to the
okay?
topic.
All
boys.
right. So yeah, both sides.
Gosh,
Organic conversations.
Yeah.
So I balled my sister up in her sheets.
you guys want to hear about these two beating up their
Those are my cousins.
Changes it so much.
I don't
Close-
beat her up. I just
Close
I
enough.
pull her sheets from under her
You
bed.
pull a knife?
Ball it up.
What?
I said close enough.
Oh.
So I think when
Okay.
we go to find the teachers that we talk to, we should make sure like we're not finding teachers that like we align with. Just make sure like they have like a strong opinion on this. 'Cause, like,
Try to find someone with an opposing point of view.
not necessarily like opposing, but just not like our opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
I
You,
just
because
ask
you don't
them
want
all
to bring you don't
individually.
want to bring someone in who's just gonna sit there and nod at you.
Like
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have to try and determine which teachers are far more rigid than others, correct?
Yeah.
Someone with a strong
Precisely,
opinion.
sir.
So seeing as we're all in different grades and have different what is a freshman teacher that you think would be good for the conversation?
All of them.
Thank
open
you
the
so
freshman.
much
There
for
is
that.
not a single freshman. There's like two.
I'm definitely getting a new one list.
There's like two freshmen
Okay.
that are actually like responsible with their phones. Everyone else is just like silly goobers.
Silly goobers.
What a goober.
Okay,
I'm gonna use that one.
Silly
Anthony, Tyler,
goobers.
teacher suggestions.
A new.
Oh boy.
I know.
A new. That's really it. For
See,
for upperclassmen teachers, that's really all we have.
even
Okay, I think
even if I like
Casey-
finish my work 100%, don't got nothing to do, and I check my phone for 2 seconds, she's like, off the phone. I'm like, damn, bro. Which makes sense. My fault.
Ooh.
True.
I have absolutely nothing to do, or I don't have anything to do.
I ain't got nothing.
So I would.
I ain't got nothing.
So I wrote down Casey, which is my history teacher. She's news. I was also thinking Sherry. I don't know if you
Who's
guys know
that?
who that's the geometry teacher I was looking for.
School has geometry?
She is very, very opinionated on cell phone use,
Oh,
but
I know her.
Yo, I
I know
remember
her.
geometry.
Okay,
She's
yeah,
kinda
okay.
crazy though. She was like, she told me that she never wishes harm on people, but she hates Russian people. And like, I was like, yo, that's kind of crazy. And she's like, yeah, if I ever saw a Russian, I
Okay.
don't know what I would do. And I was
side
like,
note,
I
side
should
note.
walk into the class, be like, I'm Russian.
Okay, side note real quick, because you told me to write down Sherry's name. There is like a little bit of like a language barrier, because she's from Nigeria, I believe, and she has like a strong Nigerian accent. So
Yeah, but-
I don't know, like I just wanted like you guys to like keep that in mind if we were to invite her on here, that it could be a strong like language barrier and hard to understand both ways. So
Don't
keep
worry.
that in mind.
Don't worry. I bet Anu can understand it.
Yeah, Anu's Sherry's daughter.
Yep, see? She could definitely understand it.
Oh, you're talking about those two, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had her sub like
You see,
a couple
yeah,
times.
you
Oh,
see a woman
those
walk
two
around the school with like a
ladies.
silver wig?
Yeah.
Her.
wow.
You guys know this story, right?
No,
No, not even we tell Anu. Like, we joke around.
We's a big word.
Not even-
We's
my-
a big word.
I don't-
We's
I don't
two
know-
letters.
I don't know about
but
you
it's
guys.
big.
But the seniors joke around with her about it. And she's cool with it.
The guy who robbed the bank. We decided. Everybody's like, no.
When I say we, I mean like the seniors.
Y'all.
Not all of them. No, I can't speak. I can't speak for everybody. But I
Okay,
know-
so
that
you,
means a
Anthony.
group of his friends.
It sounds like you. It
That are
sounds
all
like
seniors.
It
I
sounds
joke
like
with it. I
Anthony's
joke
been
with
picking
Anu
on
about
her.
her wig.
Joking about like
We joke around about her wig. Her and I go back and forth about it.
That would be like a teacher. We believe that students should not have cell phones in school at all.
And then the teacher next to him is like,
we believe your salary should be dropped. So
Wow. Wow.
no, that's a joke. That's a joke. I'm just saying we could say that. We could say that as a
That's a big one. Wow.
pay mailmen more than teachers.
Facts. I need more money, man. They need
Yeah,
to
for
raise
real.
minimum
Take the
wage.
money away from teachers and put that into something useful.
Anyways.
First of all, teachers are the lowest paid.
Yo,
people
it's a
of all
joke.
the
I think that we should
They have
raise
the
the
most dangerous job in the world because they have to sit around and deal with teenagers all day long.
and the most
So,
important job.
We're talking about all types of mental and emotional damage that they deal with throughout any period of that 6.5-hour day. So, no, we should never talk about taking their salaries.
No, that was not for real.
I want to get paid our
It's
salary.
okay, buddy. It's okay.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Bring them into
You guys,
pop.
when you talk about money, I mean, how do you move forward 10 years? You guys are in your careers. 10 years from now, you guys will all be like, you'll be the new wave of teachers, CEOs.
I could not
be a
teacher.
Mm-mm.
Military.
I'm sorry. Hell no.
I said that too.
I'm
So
definitely
I
not
got
gonna
my
teach.
first opportunity. I was in college. I got a job to become a long-term sub. And I'm like, I'll never be a sub. I was subbing in the middle of New Haven, Connecticut. At one of the worst schools they had.
Was it
I
fun?
had a ball.
You had a ball
I
at
had
the
a
worst
ball.
school.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Them kids were crazy. But by the time, we found a happy balance. So
You ever fight a
never say
kid?
never, huh?
You ever fight a kid?
Well, I'm not fighting. I've done gang intervention. I've worked on the streets of Bridgeport and Haven.
Have you ever-
Springfield. I've
have you ever
never
fought
had
a
to
kid?
fight Never.
But when
No?
it comes to
Okay.
Brianna, that's a
Brianna.
whole different story.
Would you fight Brianna? Her.
No, she's dangerous.
All right. Off the record.
When she comes at you.
Run away.
No.
I don't know.
It's like a chihuahua.
First
coming
of
in.
all, you guys are sitting at the table with a future congresswoman.
And what's she gonna do? Lock me up?
I will, Anthony. But that can be arranged.
Okay,
You're gonna have to find me first, bro.
I got
Okay.
connections. I'm like a secret FBI agent, bro. Just show me a picture and I got their Instagram.
That was one of the scariest things you've said in a while. That was one of the.
Stalker.
I'm very good at no because okay,
Stalker.
we're not gonna get it. We can get it. We can tell that story tomorrow or not tomorrow later. When we're done with
Yeah,
this.
What are we just meeting back tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm dropping out actually.
Wait a minute. I know that you guys are all in different grades. How old are you guys?
15.
25.
14.
17.
I'm 14.
How old are you?
You're 17, right? Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm a good friend. That's what that means. I'm a good friend.
Now when do I turn 18?
All right, can we talk about cell phones?
3 months.
Yeah, can we-
That's how old you guys
Yeah,
are.
let's go back to
It's
cell
soon.
phones.
Next week.
Let's get it. All right, moderator, let's go.
All right.
Focus.
So
We're
we
doing
got.
this next Friday, right?
Check the schedule.
Is that a phone?
Is that a phone in your hands?
Cell phone use
Yo,
in the classroom?
we
No,
ain't even in
next-
the classroom.
That's illegal.
Next Friday is spring.
This one is the
spring
29th. Next, it's the Friday we come back.
break. It says it's
29th.
There's something new to this information.
Does that say?
Yes,
is that
that's
the
last month.
updated one? Is that the updated April
I
calendar?
get a new one.
Get rid of the old.
You gotta know somebody
Because
cool.
remember, she printed out the paper ones for the last meeting, but they weren't like correct. So she
I
emailed
get
us.
the new one. Can somebody send me an email? I mean,
That's her email.
Breeze got you.
You said that way too fast. I'm not even.
Daryl
gonna-
Moss at Gmail, Brianna.
.com.
Who are you getting love with, Tyler?
That was crazy.
All right, I got you.
Daryl Moss. That was crazy. That was crazy. No,
Wait,
she
is it the
terrifies
Daryl
me.
Moss at Paulo
She
Freire?
terrifies me.
No, at Gmail.
A Daryl Moss one is at Paulo Freire. Okay.
That's an imposter.
He said at Gmail.
Okay.
Somebody trying to be Daryl.
DARRYL.
DARRY.
I just spelled with a Y.
Yo, we've been live for
Yo.
30 minutes and we ain't got no
Where'd-
views.
Where'd the Y come from?
There you go. Okay,
But
so
isn't
cute.
it like
Daryl.
okay?
Daryl.
They're real.
Yeah, Daryl.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, now in Spanish, it's daddy out.
You cool if I just call you D Moss?
Yeah, right.
That's
I
good
bet.
enough.
What if I just walk around like, yo, what's up, D?
That's what everybody calls
Okay.
You're not special, Anthony.
Really?
yo.
I'm trying, man.
me. Half of Springfield has no idea what my first name is. When
I
my
do.
brother passed away. People thought it was me because his name was Doug. Everybody just knows me as D Moss. I swear on my life, young, old, everybody knows D.
I'm gonna call you Mossy. How about that?
You call me Moss and we'll probably fight.
They never answered my question. You ever fight a kid? Yes.
You got any name that, like, if anybody calls you,
I'm gonna wait till
on
you're
site?
18 years old, then I'm gonna fight you. Then you're not a
I ain't
kid.
got it.
Huh?
I'll wait till you're 18, then I'll fight you. Then you're
When-
not a kid.
When's that happening?
I don't know.
Next month.
Yeah.
Next week. Next week. You got 1 week.
Yeah. I got a week of calling you Mossy.
You know what?
A
All right, let's get it. I'm gonna have to chop this one up. But this is just
A lot.
anyway.
lot.
We've been- We've been
Do
live
you
for
guys
like
wanna
40
have the
minutes.
same conversation
No views.
After you meet the teachers, but do you want a board member to sit in on the conversation when you guys have the conversation? Because I'm thinking if you do it in a larger room, they have 4 cameras, so you won't
Yeah.
be cramped in this room. I think it needs to be in a larger room.
It does.
And open to folks in the journalism class or whoever,
Mhm.
so they can all write about what they experienced.
I think we should have teachers and people from the board because not
People.
only,
Just
It can be sound like a panel, like a panel session.
Yeah.
2 teachers, a board member, and then you 4. But you guys gotta come. You guys really gotta do your homework and come prepared to deal with this. 'Cause the bottom line is, the teachers have an advantage.
Yeah.
Do you know why they have an advantage?
No.
because they deal with kids every
Why
day.
they have an
I
advantage?
said no. I said I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Why would the teachers have an advantage?
Because they're dealing with kids on their phone every day.
Okay, you deal with kids on the phone, but that's nothing. Why would they have an advantage?
They do their homework.
If I'm
'Cause they're
talking about,
adults.
school life, why would I have an advantage of all you guys?
Because you have more experience.
Because you're an adult.
I've been a high school student.
Because you're older.
Because you're an adult.
And there's nothing new under the sun. We didn't have cell phones, but we found other ways to be disruptive.
Yeah, they
I hung out
that
with
was beatboxing
knuckleheads,
back
so
then.
let me say, So I can tell you what I know what it's like to be a high school student. I know what it's like to deal with, teachers who have those monotone voices that put you to sleep. You have no other choice but to turn on your cell phone. We've been there. We've had substitutes from hell. We've been there. So, but have you ever been a teacher?
Yeah.
I've been offered. You
I
know
teach-
how there's those times where like there's those times when
I'm a teacher every day of my life. All right, I be
No.
teaching people things.
Have you ever?
I'm
have
a
you ever been paid
philosopher.
to get in front of a classroom,
Never.
of a curriculum?
Never.
And it's your responsibility to make sure that your students who come into your classroom here leave here intellectually.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the responsibility and burden to ensure that all these human beings who think completely independently of everybody else, your responsibility is to teach them X amount of information by the time they reach this point?
technically no, but like
Technically,
It-
no. Technically, no.
No.
But if
okay,
you
but no, but
take-
I was gonna use the example of when we do project presentations and stuff like that. Because technically we are I'm not saying we are like being a teacher and everything, but we're in the position of having to like influence people and give them like information and like keep their attention and stuff like that. So obviously it's not at the same level of being a teacher,
So
but
no.
there's some That's right.
Give
Oh
a
my God,
presentation.
sorry, we
You
were
guys
going
are-
at it.
You guys in a podcast right now. Your job is to educate and inform, raise awareness as much as possible.
Yeah. So we're all teachers.
Once the folks in that room, I forgot her name, I think her name is. Once they
Natalie.
upload all this stuff, people, you want to make sure that this stuff is, tailored to a point where people can actually listen from beginning to end. I got that. Holding someone's attention is different from creating a curriculum and making sure that everybody during their junior year receives all this mandated information as stipulated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Have you done that?
Yeah.
You lost me.
No.
I heard Massachusetts at the end. And I saw your hand moving. I'm sorry, I was zoned out.
Are you being paid to make sure that you during your junior year receives all this wealth of information by the time you complete your junior year?
I wish.
There's this thing called like standardized testing, in which teachers, you guys know MCAS.
Yes.
It's a teacher's job to make sure that you guys take in all that information so you can keep your MCAS scores as high as possible. What happens when a teacher doesn't do due diligence?
Then they're not doing their job.
Everybody
They
does
get the boot.
horrible. The school gets red marked. Then you have to go have Dexty and all these folks coming in on a regular basis. Have you ever been responsible to ensure? I know you said on the cell phone.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm email.
hell no.
I'm sorry.
Oh hell.
My dad, like,
Yo.
straight up, my dad just texted me. He got a call from the school that I'm not here. So he's like, him and my little sister are coming here because he thinks I'm like lost somewhere from my way to Elms to the school. So I have to let him know to like not do that because
Like, nah, I'm here.
I'm not
Right.
missing.
But that's a perfect example.
Of an
Wow.
emergency.
Wow.
My dad just sent me a text. You could do like she did, step outside, handle your business, and come back. But to stop mid conversation, head down the whole. I'm watching you the whole time, head down like this, and it's like he's not really, he's concentrating. He's not really on his cell phone. That's the issue. So if I'm a teacher, you might be a smart kid. Everybody likes you, but at this point, I'm pissed. I'm like, give me the damn cell phone. Would I be wrong? Even if it's your dad, would I be wrong?
No.
Would I be wrong for taking the cell phone?
For taking it?
In my
Take
opinion,
his cell phone. If this is a classroom, I said, Tyler, give me the cell phone. Give it to me right now. I don't care if it's your dad. Give me the cell phone. Am I wrong?
in that situation, I feel like no.
Okay.
Because he did just like stop mid convo.
Would I be wrong? If you're in the
No.
class and he's your classmate and I took his cell phone for that, would I be wrong?
I just
I
be like,
don't know.
damn.
You're-
I'd say
I
you
have-
wouldn't.
I have like a mixed opinion. I have a mixed
I just be
opinion.
like, damn.
So just because he said it's my dad and the school called said that I'm not at school, is that
That is
I
like,
is that a
Tyler.
is that a live or die situation?
sort of like that's important.
Earlier you said it's communication.
Hey, turn around, bro.
Who's miscommunicating? I'm telling you no cell phones, and then you turn around and get back on your cell phone. So where's the miscommunication coming from?
The students.
Tyler, right? Tyler is a student.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to say your name.
Now, you have
Okay.
4 students in the room who say no. We absolutely
I did not say
disagree with
no.
the notion that cell phones should be taken. But then we all sit there and witness. Now imagine I'm teaching, I don't know, geometry. I have 20 students, and he's on his cell phone. You really believe that his cell phone shouldn't be taken at that point?
Okay, first of all, don't come at me like that. I did not say no.
Damn, bro. Damn, bro.
But what I was going to say was that if
Damn.
if you had told, if this occurred several times and you told him to put his phone away, he wasn't listening, like there was a few times back and forth right just now, then okay, you could take his phone. But if it's the first warning and you're just automatically like, give me your damn phone, then like that's a little excessive.
So how old are you?
17.
25.
How old are you?
And a half.
14.
30.
So you telling me I have to come into a room with teenagers every day and write on a freaking chalkboard, please do not use your cell phones, and constantly remind you and prompt you not to use it.
That's not, I'm not saying that's
You're
necessarily
saying that
on
This is the first time. Today, we're having a conversation on what?
cell phone use in the classroom.
Okay. And he did what?
Cell phone use in the classroom.
In the
But you're
podcast.
telling me I would be wrong for taking his phone because I didn't give him prompts or warnings ahead of time.
I'm saying that if it's the first occurrence, like say like okay, like you're okay, when I was on my phone. When I was sitting in this corner when I came back and I was emailing my teacher and everything, you told me once, you're like, oh, like she's on her phone, this and that. Like I put it away. And so I feel like it's not even the teacher's like responsibility to make sure that like obviously like a teacher should have like their students paying attention and everything, but it's not exactly their responsibility to like constantly having to remind the students like you said, we're all 14 and up. We should have the common sense of not being on our phones, but not everyone is that knowledgeable. So like that's not exactly the teacher's fault. If the teacher's sitting there and doing everything that they can to try to keep that student's attention, then it's just it's on the student if they're not learning.
The teacher has every right to confiscate the cell phone. Is what you just said.
About half.
Well, so I'm not what when we were talking about this, I wasn't thinking like I feel like confiscation of a
You don't stutter. So
the confiscation
you're
of
trying to
the
find an eloquent explanation to justify
the confiscation.
improper use
No, you should
of your
you can't
technology.
You should
You still
confiscate
stutter 'cause you don't know
the
what you
confiscate
can't
the
defend
cell
yourself
phone,
right now.
but I'm saying like mass scale taking the cell phone
Mass
away,
scale.
taking the cell phone away like when the students enter the building. Like
But who
that's
would
what
be
we're
responsible for that? Is it the teacher's fault, the administration's fault, or your fault?
what?
Administration. I
So
know
if
this
we're
one.
having a conversation.
Wait, what
we're in
was-
the middle of the debate about cell phone use, and you take out your cell phone and you're completely distracted by a conversation with your dad while I'm trying to teach. If we say, okay, that's the last straw, you know, if Tyler's doing it, just go through and just go class to class, get a bag, take everybody's cell phone. It would be your fault, correct?
Mhm.
It would be your fault that if we went around class to class and just confiscated everybody's phone because of what you just did. It would be your fault, correct?
I'm
You could
confused.
potentially be the straw that broke the camel's back. So I could take every cell phone in the building because of what you just did. Would I be wrong?
Yeah.
What?
I'm confused.
Hold on.
Okay,
Thinking about
so
it, yes, you would be, because what did the rest of the kids do?
that's what I was about to get to. I'm like, not everyone should be punished. Not the entire student body should be punished because a collective group of students' actions.
Interesting. What did you say about 5 minutes ago? You said everyone doesn't think the same. What did you say? You know,
We should have the common sense of knowing
and
that
then
we
you
shouldn't be on
said-
our
then
phone.
You said, but not everyone
Knows.
knows or understands that, correct?
Yeah.
So if 5% of the people get it and 95% don't, and Tyler's out, now he's included in that 95%.
Now it's 96.
So it's basically saying, well, that becomes the rule, right? And not the exception. You guys become the exception because you get it. But the other 95%, like Tyler, don't get it. So would I be justified if I was Gil Traverso and saying, we want everybody's cell phone?
No.
I would not be justified. Okay. Jan, would I be justified? I
Well,
like
that's-
Jan because
that's-
Jan just tells it like this. Go ahead, Jan.
That's a really hard.
So now he's giving you a political response.
That's a very. That's a big weight you put on me right now, because
You want to agree with me, but for the sake of your colleagues,
no. That's
you
definitely
can't
not
be
what I'm doing right
bipartisan
now.
in this. You're
Okay,
like
let me-
Republican.
Okay. Hold on.
I can promise you, Jan don't care what I say. I just read it today.
95%, 95%, no, basically 96 to 4%,
I don't think that's how percents work.
94 to
Anyways,
96.
96.
Unless
to,
there was
96
exactly
to
100
4.
most, that's besides the point.
What?
No, because you guys went it up because Tyler was added to
The-
the
the-
95.
No,
so
I was
it's
joking,
96.5.
I was
Okay,
joking.
yeah.
I was no, I'm not being
Nobody
serious.
wants to answer the question.
Okay,
Okay.
wait,
I
I was
answered it.
getting there. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that like okay, so because of you can't just take away a certain group of kids' phones and not the other group just because that small group of them is acting up because that could be seen as unfair because those students because it's how they could be like, oh, if my phone's getting taken away, why isn't Brianna's? And then you could sit there and be like, well, you were on your phone, she wasn't, this and this and that. And then there could be students that will just keep going back and forth with it. There could be maybe students where it gets to the point where like, okay, that makes sense. But like I said, not everyone has the common sense of you should or shouldn't be on your phone. This is why you get it.
I
But
just
I
recently got
still
common sense.
I understand what you're
I
saying,
just
but I
recently
still
got
feel
common
like
sense.
I'm still at the point where I'm like, not everyone should be punished for a group of people's.
Separate your feelings from your logic.
Okay.
You can feel strongly about something. Like I'm against over policing in predominantly Black and Latino neighborhoods.
Yeah, like the
But
South
there are
End.
people who sell drugs.
Mhm.
They're 2% of the overall population, but the other 98% is subjected to police harassment, over policing, all types of stuff.
Mhm.
So just because I feel that way, feel that it's wrong. After my son gets robbed at gunpoint, it doesn't matter how I feel about it. At some point, I have to make a decision to draw a line. Am I for policing in my over policing in my neighborhood because I want to prevent my daughter from also being robbed? At some point, you have to draw a line and separate your feelings. And if we're going to have logical conversations based on analytical thought, feelings have nothing to do with it. The bottom line is this, right? At the end of the day, there's right and then there's wrong.
Mhm.
And if you're a policymaker and you guys are president and vice president, which means actually you guys become policymakers.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, and y'all got this.
You have to separate your feelings from this. And just because you feel that it's wrong, what Tyler did, sorry, Tyler, I got to put you off. But what Tyler did was wrong. And you're trying everything in your power not to, no, completely wrong. You're trying everything in your power not to make him wrong.
You were gonna say something.
I was gonna
turn
say
to you.
this is like straight up one of those cases where like I looked at my dad texted me and he said, "Answer me right now." So I would much rather get my phone taken
Did you
away
bring this
and
to
in
my
trouble.
attention? Did you bring it to my attention? How could we have avoided this whole conversation?
I said my dad texted me.
How could we have avoided this whole conversation?
Just a
That
simple
goes back to the
hit.
communication thing.
I'm asking Tyler, how could we have avoided this whole entire conversation, especially when today's topic revolves around cell phone use? What could have been done?
I don't know.
The minute you see that text, you said,
You guys were like mid conversation. I didn't want to
doesn't
like
matter.
cut that
You
off.
could have waited. Waiting an extra 30 seconds. If I'm in a classroom, this is just mine. But if I'm in a classroom, what could you have done differently? See, this whole conversation around cell phone use is really all about personal responsibility and personal accountability. If you can't hold yourself accountable for certain actions based on lack of thought, then what can you do? How are you going to be a social change agent if you can't separate your actions and behaviors from how you feel? I get it's your dad, but to say, hey, we're talking about cell phone use, my dad just said, I have to hit him back. Oh, go ahead, that's your pops. I met him, great guy, hit him back. Then we proceed with the class and we go on. But you didn't do that. You took matters into your own hand, correct? As the adult, as the educator in the classroom, the teachers are responsible for you guys. So everybody can have a different type of emergency. Does that make it right for them to just grab their cell phones based on what they deem important? Whether you're part of the 95% or the 5%. So I did what you're saying, but right is right and wrong is wrong, especially for someone who loves structure, organization, and rigid rules. Unless,
Facts.
of course, it happens to impact her because she's one of the people when she gets an email that she deems important, she has to address it immediately. So, how are we going to prepare for this conversation with the teachers if you can't discern the difference between right, wrong, what we should or should not do? And then you guys sit here and let me lecture y'all for 10 minutes and just staring at me as if you don't have your own thoughts. It doesn't mean I'm right. Am I right in terms of what I'm saying?
It's your opinion.
You think you're right, yeah.
Okay.
Do I think you're
Your
right?
thoughts on it, too.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, well, of course, you're a politician. So the bottom line is, when do you push back on an adult? When do you speak to these?
When they say something you don't agree with and you wanna talk more about.
So why didn't someone just speak up and make it very clear they disagree? And then, but when you retort, you gotta make sure you're on point though. I can back mine with receipts. So you make sure when you meet with the teachers, you bring a big bag of receipts. You know what receipts are?
Yes.
Valid points.
Facts.
bring the facts with you. And just because the teacher is talking to you in a very subtly condescending tone, doesn't mean that they're right.
He's got a point.
Because you shut down, you stuttered, you kept coming back, you were political.
I did what?
So, oh, yeah, you gave all these non-answers.
Yeah, leave
You
me
weren't able to
alone.
tell your situation. Yeah, let me think. No, Mitch McConnell. No, that was political. You shut all the way down. You started stuttering. You couldn't get your thoughts out because you felt like you was being attacked. And white fragility set in on you. So one half you was like, yo, do this. The other half was, oh my God, I can't take this.
That's the white and black.
So I have no problem with you contacting your dad. You create the perfect opportunity to flip this conversation on.
Antagonize us.
So how do you handle the teachers if y'all can't handle it? Y'all gonna have two of them coming at y'all.
I don't know. I think I handled it pretty well.
No, you didn't. No,
I kept answers coming. I don't know.
You kept talking, but you weren't really, like an empty can blowing in the wind. You kept trying to let me force it. I gotta get something out there. I gotta say something. I'm about to say anything. I respect that. But you guys gotta do a little bit better if you're gonna be teachers.
We just got to start arguing.
So, am I saying that you guys are trash? Absolutely not.
Cap.
My job is to be the example. If you guys are gonna
Okay.
podcast, I gotta push back, flip things around, but y'all gotta see through the distortion and push back. Push back. Nobody really wanted to push back. Brianna tried, but she let me get to her because I overpowered her. My voice was a little bit louder. I do some extra bass in my voice, and she just kind of kicked back a little bit. Tell me I'm lying.
No, you're right.
Right. So if I do that, and I know I have these tools that I can use to my advantage because I'm coming with experience, does that make me right?
No.
Which is why we have policy being made all across the country, all these different states, legislation that makes absolutely no sense. Someone gets up in front of an audience, they speak with confidence, they speak with authority, and everybody says, yes, we have to do it this way. No. That goes against all the standards of social justice. Backbone. You're articulate as hell. Why the hell would you start stuttering? Tell me.
I didn't even notice I was stuttering until you told me.
Yeah, you kept and well, let me. What the hell is that? That's not how Tyler talks. Typically, you're really confident, which means as cocky as you get with your intellectual capacity, you still got to do your homework and make sure you come prepared. Because after a while, as smart as all that, you sound super articulate, super smart, but it begins to sound like rhetoric. Try some shit on people and keep pushing forward.
Language.
You want to keep it 100?
Language.
You want me to keep it 100?
Yeah, you got a point.
You guys get in college and you're debating folks and you're coming at listen, you're going to have tougher folks than me coming at you. You talked about, class projects and you have to defend your project and you're sharing it with people. You got to be confident. And you can't let anybody push you back. If you get an asshole teacher who just doesn't like you, so instead of you getting the A that you deserve, you get a C+. When you learn to fight back, I don't give a damn about somebody being in an authority position. I don't. So why should you? This is about your rights as a student. We talk about cell phone use. If we take away the cell phone, what's next? School uniforms?
Oh, hell no.
Then what? You can't use certain types of slang. I mean, what's next? What comes after that?
Man, bunk that. I ain't wearing no uniform
You
again.
can say that.
I'm
You can say that.
argue it.
But here's the
100%.
deal. You can argue it, but you don't have valid points. It sounds like noise. You're not getting anything.
You want to know why I'm against uniform?
I don't care why you're against uniforms.
Damn.
I'm saying if you allow them to take the cell phones, you're going to allow them to take everything. It will only escalate. That's how tyranny is.
I also feel like, yeah, but I also feel like people would learn from their mistakes as well. So the more they lose, the more they gain.
Really. Like when the buildings went down.
Well, not everyone, not
Let
everyone,
me give
not
you an
everyone.
example. 911. The trade center went down, right?
Mhm.
Millions of Americans gave up their freedom. When you go to the airports, you voluntarily allow people to search. Free, what's the second word? freedom of search and seizure. What's that? Third or fourth amendment?
That's the fourth.
Fourth.
No,
It's one of those.
fourth.
So,
Third is quartering.
freedom
Second.
of search and seizure, which means when you walk through an airport, bus station, train station, stand up, get up against the wall, and they can stop and search you. And you go, okay. So we sacrifice our civil liberties every day. That goes with everything this guy was talking about. So when we say we're at a school of social justice and we're still being conditioned to sacrifice our liberties, who fights for you?
We do.
When the people who tend to speak up the most on your behalf are speechless, then what? Then what? Who speaks up for you?
I do.
Yourself. The people around you, the victims.
You have a congressman who gets up and speaks, dictates law, policy that's going to impact your life for the next 10 years. He's speaking to 1 million people at one time, and you're going to get up. You're this nameless personality in the crowd. You speak for yourself. Your job is to convince all these other people.
No,
people
but
want to court with you. They say at Paulo, you guys want to keep your cell phones? You have to find a way to get all the students to be on board with you. And you have to find a way to convince folks that what you're pushing is right. You have to find a way to include people in that process.
I feel like you're not always the only one though. Like you can always like, what if there's another person who feels the exact same way? You want to find those people and make your own crowd.
Absolutely. And it's always like that.
So it's not always like a 1v2000. It's
But
always like,
nobody's speaking up and pushing back.
oh,
There's 4 of y'all that was one of me. How many of y'all got together and said, wait, let's support her argument? When she was talking and I pushed back at her and she shut down, I didn't hear you speak up, although you agreed with her. Those two didn't really speak up, although they agreed with her. So it doesn't matter if you guys all agree that something is wrong. We all agree that these walls, we know this wall is like a beige, earth tone type color, but this guy just came in and said it's red. So we're going with it because we don't want to push back. It sounds absolutely crazy. But this is how tyranny is born. Was he justified in responding to his father? Absolutely. But can I use that as an argument to say we need to confiscate cell phones? Absolutely. But if you don't know how to respond to that, what happens?
You lost.
Our argument falls.
We're in school, we're in the social justice charter school. So I'm not getting on you guys. I'm just simply saying, we're a podcast. We're going to be taking on people. When you guys go up against Kev, make sure your issue's tight. Am I wrong for teaching you that?
No.
All right, everybody look all somber and sad and damn.
I can't see anything.
Yo, what?
I can't see anything.
That's why I like you, man.
I forgot my glasses on my
No
nightstand.
matter what. It's
I
like-
can't see nothing.
So, but you were absolutely right in everything you said. You spot on.
Keep that bass.
All right, stick to it. Stick to it.
Hold on, let me just put on my like yelling at cousins persona and just be like, so
Like, yo,
Yeah. Listen, man, the most important thing in an intellectual stage is tone, volume, level of confidence. Learn when to raise it, learn when to lower it. When somebody gets upset, you're supposed to do what? If somebody gets escalated and they're arguing, they're screaming, what are you supposed to do?
keep
raise it as
calm.
well.
No.
Keep calm.
De-escalate it.
Drop
Do
it.
what?
De-escalate the
See, you're trying to
situation.
sound clinical. No.
But that's
Stay
like
calm.
You stay. You don't de-escalate. If I'm in a debate with you, I'm not trying to de-escalate you. I'm trying to destroy you. So, what she just said, you stay calm. When you're screaming, I'm like, okay, just because you're getting loud doesn't mean you get a valid point. And I'm smiling while you're screaming. It just gets you mad to the point where you can't even think. Everything up here becomes a blur. You learn to use that context, critical, tone, critical, body, critical. Learn that. So you guys are gonna be going up against Gil at some point. You gotta stand your ground, man. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you intellectually, period.
Boy, am I glad I'm graduating.
No, because here's the deal. You're gonna graduate, you're gonna get a job somewhere, you're gonna have a boss who's a complete ass. Everybody, as this brother said, everybody who works with you is gonna agree with you that the boss is an ass. They're gonna agree with you behind the scenes, you're an asshole. You're gonna speak up by yourself. And when your boss challenges you, you have every right to challenge back. The question is, how do you do it? How do you win that battle to the point where the boss begins to see where he's
make sure that I got my stuff together.
That's all I'm saying. College, for those I know, college bound, right? College bound. College bound?
What?
Going to college, right?
Yeah.
Professors are a-holes. They're cocky, they're arrogant, they're condescending. How do you debate with them?
Slap them.
Yo,
That works.
what?
It works.
Be what they don't
I'm
like.
just
Be what
joking.
they're scared of.
Don't slap your teacher.
That's
You guys deal with this?
bad.
I didn't like take all the air out because y'all they're good. Y'all look like y'all so defeated.
Maybe they're thinking.
No, they're not used to people pushing back at them because they're so highly celebrated in the school.
Don't worry, guys.
Wrong?
Don't
I
worry,
mean,
guys.
with adult staff, yes. If there was a student there yelling at me, I would feel at home.
I'm sure. But when you're dealing with adults, you still have to stand your ground.
No, yeah.
Who hates me now? Who hates me now? Come on, man.
Did you stop the recording?